see her play both the flute and the piano at the same time by herself.
So here's the thing I've been doing lately. I got so fed up with all the crappy repost content on Facebook that I've been systematically blocking every single page that is not someone's original content. If it's not coming directly from the person I'm following, it's blocked. I blocked at like hundreds of pages in the past week.
Jesus.
It's political stuff. It's stuff that people find funny that I don't find funny. So if you want to show me something, you'd better just show it to me in person, because I guarantee the page you're going to share to me is blocked. I guarantee it.
I stopped sharing things with you because I know you don't read them.
Yeah, you just have to show me in person, because I got so fed up with like the crappy Facebook humor that's like Monday morning coffee time, like, oh, someone's got a case of a Mondays kind of humor, or like goddamn Minions from Despicable Me. That shit makes me furious. I don't know why, it just makes me so angry, so I just started blocking it. It's like, okay, it's not actual content from you, and it's making my Facebook better, but it's there's so many of them. No one actually talks to each other on Facebook anymore. They just share shit, and I hate it. So welcome to Always Wrong Podcast episode 9.
Oh, are we recording now?
Sure are.
Well, it's been a while, guys.
It's been, how long's it been since we last put one of these out? God, like two or 3 weeks?
Last year, I think.
So again, like last episode, we were gone for a while. Here's a recap. Christmas break happened.
Yeah.
Yep, and that's it.
Bill went home. I kind of went home. What the fuck was
You just
that?
knocked over a water bottle. Luckily the cap was closed. I'm keeping that in though. It's a nice little pull back the curtain. See that we're people too. So let's see. When we last left off, I think, where was I in the whole grad school thing? I was applying for student aid and everything.
Yeah.
Like I was pretty sure I was going to get it and stuff. I did get it. It's all gone through, so I will definitely be a grad student at Tech.
Yay!
And so I'll be helping out with the percussion maintenance aspect of thing, and god damn it, I will make the crawl space beautiful, even if it kills me.
Oh, please don't let it kill you.
The crawl space is it's a kind of like a basement storage area. It also happens to be my office that I'm sharing with another dude there.
Sex room?
There's
maybe?
nothing erotic about that room, besides how hot and sweaty it is.
Ooh, I like where this is going.
I don't like where it's going. I hate how hot it is down there. If it's too hot in the winter, I can only imagine how gross it's going to be in the summer. But,
I just found what you're going to do with your mini fridge.
what am I going to do with my
You're
mini
just going to plug it in and leave the door open. Waste so much electricity.
You know how heat pumps work, right? You know that a refrigerator, to make the air inside of it colder, it has to make a larger amount of air warmer to do so. It's not a pure exchange of energy. So if you opened a fridge and ran it in an airtight room, the room would get hotter in total. Even though there's cold air coming out of one side, it would just get hotter in total because there's loss of energy that way. Fun fact, the window unit at my apartment works that way. When you set it to heat, it just flips a valve and makes the hot air come out of the side on the inside instead of the outside. Yes, Jacob? Anything to add?
I don't want to be your friend anymore after this.
Alright.
You ruined my day yesterday, and I forgot to tell you why.
Oh, why is that?
I was watching the damn fucking docuseries that I was telling you about, and it was like episode 8 out of 10, and we fucking left when I had like 10 minutes left of that episode.
I mean, you can delay me by 10 minutes.
No, you were outside my door. I cut my shit short, too.
Oh, yeah. Okay, well,
Yeah.
could be worse. I was trying to actively get in your door, though. Like, I had the key and everything.
I had both of them dead-bolted. Or I had my dead-bolt on.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
carry my key with you?
It's on my keychain.
Oh. How pretty.
Yeah, now I got janitor keys because of the grad school. Or because of the...
Custodian?
Because the keys for, like, the band hall, all the storage rooms and stuff. And they're already, like, tearing through the pocket on my Aperture Science hoodie. Makes me sad.
I don't know how you feel, but do you feel kind of like a badass because you got all those keys? Like, You've got some sense of authority now, if you think about it.
It's really gonna be, like, to me, the same amount of authority I had as the symphonic band section leader. Not a lot. Very little. It's in my head. It's just a job. So, I mean, it's a job that I'll do my best in. I swear to God, if people try to walk over me again, I will fucking end them. I will not have a repeat of a whole semester's worth of people being late to shit. They get, like, a chance, and I'm like, all right, motherfucker, you're out. Because I'm just not going to deal with it this time around.
Reason will prevail.
Pickles will prevail. What else happened? Okay, so Christmas happened. How about you run down your Christmas list, and I'll run, or what you got for Christmas, and I'll run down mine.
I don't want to do that.
Special holiday edition of the Always Wrong podcast, several weeks after the fact.
I think I went home, and that was the highlight of my day.
I see.
My break. I really liked going home.
I went back. Oh, are you done? I do that thing where I am an asshole and interrupt people and go on with my stories and don't let them finish.
That's fine. I do that to you all the time.
I realized I did. Like, I think while I was down there, I was like, fuck, I never let people finish what they're going to say. It's like I get bored and, like, I haven't heard myself talk in a little while. I better interject here.
Well, it's okay. I've realized that I like to have 16 different conversations at one time with one person.
Oh, yeah.
So my mom the other day, she was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, I am so lost right now.
To hear. So, let's see. I went home. I didn't hit a coyote this time. So that was good. So it was a pleasant drive. I went to the farm first, stay with my family for a few days. So I went down the 23rd, and then I was out of there on the 26th. So I was there for 3 days. And then I went to my friend Alex's house in College Station and stayed there the rest of the time.
Oh, I was like, you were gone a fuck ton of time.
Yeah, no, I tend to me, base camp is Alex's house because it's closest to things to do.
Ah, I see.
The farm is out in the middle of nowhere and is, at least an hour from anything fun. And so it's like, well, I can sit at home and not really browse the internet because it's like Verizon, like a cell phone card. So it's fast, but it doesn't have a lot of data for you to, or like...
Is it like a hotspot?
Yeah, it's like a hotspot. Okay. So there's a hard data limit that, like... I don't want to go over because my dad has to pay exorbitant fees for
exorbitant. Oh, wow.
SAT words today.
Yeah.
What else? Let's see. Normally for Christmas, I'm an asshole and I just say, give me money or just buy me this thing. And then this time I did something different, which I should have been doing a long time. I just had an Amazon wish list and just shared it to my family and said, just give me something on this list. Any of these items will make me, happy and surprised to open on Christmas morning. Because when you know what you're going to get, or you just get money, you get your gift, and there's no, magic to it. So, let's see, I put stuff on there. I didn't expect... I put, the HID light kit for my Volt, just maybe if someone wanted to get that. I put a bunch of video games. I put a 2-pound bag of chocolate-covered cashews. Sorry, my beard is very long and soft, and I'm playing with it right now. And a little synthesizer and all kinds of stuff. So, come Christmas morning, I don't actually know what I'm gonna get, and I haven't experienced that since childhood. So that was nice, and I got a synthesizer. It's a little, I think the brand's like Arturo or something like that. But it's
he's my cousin.
But it's their smallest and most simple synthesizer. And it's been a shitload of fun because I've been emulating the opening synth track to Freeze Pop's Less Talk More Rock is the song. Because I figured out how to actually just program that into there, so I just hit a key and just start it. I just hit the octave key every now and then and change the speed, so it just goes into the song.
Really?
Yeah,
awesome.
I should show you. It's really fun. And then because I've had a talk box for years. And now with the synthesizer, I can do all the talkbox stuff from Snarky Puppy's Sleeper. And I just need someone to play the chords on electric piano so I can just solo over it for days.
I'll play it on banjo.
That wouldn't work at all.
That would work great.
What else? I did get that 2-pound bag of chocolate-covered cashews. I got through half of it just while I was down there, and there's still like, I don't know, 16 nuts left. Not a lot. I like cashews, and then I like milk chocolate, and when you combine the two, I can't stop eating them.
I have a problem.
Really, I think my biggest Christmas gift is honestly moving to an apartment that's smaller but still nice. Because now I can, like, afford to live here and not think about that all the time while I'm just trying to exist in my house. And, what else? Oh, yeah, I'm starting grad school. That's kind of a thing.
You already said that.
I did.
Can I talk now?
Sure. Go right ahead.
So, I went back home the day after Christmas. Because I had to work. Which was fine. I mean, made some money. But, driving down there, I was kind of worried about. Because it was when the blizzard was supposed to hit here, and it was when shit was supposed to hit the fan.
I have a lot to talk about the blizzard, but please continue.
And driving over there, the first 4 hours were great. It was fucking nice. It wasn't windy. And then we got out of the mountains and we fucking tried to go through the woods. To grandma's house we go, and holy shit, like fucking God must have sneezed and all the snow must have come with him. But it was fucking, like, I couldn't see 5 feet in front of me. It was bad, yeah. So I was literally going 45 on, like, the 75. It took an extra hour and a half.
Was this near El Paso or coming back to Lubbock?
Going to El Paso.
Going to El Paso?
Yeah.
Really?
So it took, I think, like, an extra 45 minutes to get home because of how slow we were going.
God.
Yeah, and then we get to El Paso, and it's fucking pouring rain. And then I get to my house, and it's like fucking snow like crazy.
Jeez.
I was taking my drum set in, and to give you kind of like how hard it was coming down on my bass drum, I took it out, and the front, like the head, it was completely covered in snow in like a 45-second walk.
Jeez.
Yeah. It wasn't even bad. It was take it out of the trunk, close the trunk door, and walk 20 feet into my front door. And it was just covered.
God.
Yeah, it was a shit ton. I had never seen that much snow there before. Because it doesn't fucking snow there. It's always hot as shit.
It's El Paso.
Yeah.
It's like the desert.
Jinx.
Show me a soda. Yeah, that's weird that it was that cold and rainy in El Paso, because it's just never either of those two things. I was so far east in Texas that I think the coldest we got was like 36 one night, which sucks. But I mean, it never snowed or anything. It was cold and wet and miserable. But back in Lubbock, it was their third largest snowstorm on record. But
Really? What's their first? How long ago?
I don't remember the dates. I think one was in the 50s, one was in the 80s, and the most recent one. The one in the 50s was the most snow. It snowed hard for 4 days.
Wow.
And then in the 80s, it snowed hard for 2 days. But I'm trying to remember what made these storms different. I think total snowfall for the one in the 50s was the highest. The temperatures for the 80s one were the lowest. And then for this one, the winds were the highest. We had gusts of like 63 miles an hour.
Holy
And that
shit.
made really deep snow drifts. And so the buildings that collapsed, the wind was churning up that snow and making it pile up, higher than because it only snowed like 11 and a half inches or something, like almost a foot. But when it gets blown into snow drifts that are like 5 feet thick, then it's super heavy, and that it made that building across from my apartment collapse. It made a part of that Gene Messer dealership collapse. A bunch of carports collapsed. So yeah, and the funny thing was, before then, the few times I'd experienced snow, it just kind of it shuts the city down for a day and then it's gone the next day. And I always thought to myself, like, I'd only seen 2 snowplows. I remember it was after my recital. We were all going out to eat at BJ's, and I took 289 for some stupid reason. That was a mistake. That made us it took like an hour. It was awful.
Really?
Just to get across town.
Holy shit.
And people, it was a banked part of 289, so people were starting to slide towards the middle. And I was like, oh jeez, I really don't want to total this car. This was, not long after I totaled the last one on ice. I'm like, fuck, no, please.
Maybe you just make bad decisions.
I do make bad decisions. I do that all the time. And, so basically, I saw the 2 plows running up and down 289. I'm like, huh, I feel like they'd have more plows. I guess those are just the two that are assigned to 289. Fast forward to this storm, and I'm following the city itself, and like the police and the fire department are on. They have their own respective social media pages, namely Facebook. And I keep seeing pictures of the fire trucks are stuck in the snow. Nurses can't get to the hospital because the snow is on the roads, so they like a 4x4 club, like a bunch of Jeeps and some Toyotas that were jacked up with big tires. We're just taking nurses to their jobs. And it's like, oh, that's cool that they team together. Or the road's not clear. And then they start, the whole debriefing process after the fact, and they release the equipment list of all the stuff they had at their disposal.
Why would they do that?
Transparency, I guess, to show what they... It's part of a... Not like a state of the city address, but just like an after the fact, here's the report on what happened.
Okay.
So it was like the mayor sent out a thing saying, so this is what we know and what happened. So basically, the storm hit hardest on like the 26th and 27th, I think. It might be maybe the 28th, I don't remember. The National Weather Service in Lubbock warned them on the 23rd that this was going to be a big deal, and if they have any kind of preparations they need to start making them. I don't know if they prepared it all. I mean, it's the holidays. More than likely, people were just at home. They just didn't really consider it. I know they made plans for an emergency operations center. So basically, they just pick a conference room somewhere and just load it full of people coordinating. It's funny. My supervisor I worked for in code enforcement, I saw him in some of those pictures. And whenever there's a disaster situation and they need just personnel managers, people like him will get shipped to the thing. So, like, do you remember Hurricane Sandy?
Yeah.
He actually was flown to the East Coast to help manage the relief effort for that. It's just interesting to me that, normally he's running a little code enforcement thing that does inspection and weed and rubbish and whatever. But then when shit hits the fan, he goes off and tells people what to do. So it just strikes me as interesting. So, they're set up in emergency operations centers and they're determining what to do. Their number one priority is, loss of life, making sure nobody freaking dies. So that's keeping the power on so people don't lose heat. As far as I know, power outages were not too common, but they were in various areas. It wasn't like a citywide problem, but like certain parts of the city would lose power for a few hours. And the problem therein is getting the crews to where the power line is broken, because then you have to figure out where it is in the snow with the roads being shitty. So I don't know how they manage that. So they released their equipment list, and there's only 2 snowplows on it.
Oh, Mr. Plow, that's funny. Dandy man, it's Mr. Plow.
Exactly. So I'm reading the list. It's a lot of earth moving equipment, which I expect because they're probably not that prepared for this. So they're getting like all the public work stuff they have and the front end loaders, backhoes, and what have you, just to clear the roads. And I only see 2 snowplows. We have 10 salt trucks. Now these salt trucks are not like dump trucks with big beds on them. They're little 1-ton flatbeds with just like a salt hopper attached to it.
Dude, I could have sworn I saw some big trucks though.
I think they got the Texas Department of Transportation involved in this. They did create they declared as a disaster basically, saying that we need state funds or federal fund, whatever the fund level was. So it's more than likely they did get help from the Department of Transportation, which I think that's probably what you saw.
Oh, okay.
But we have 2 plows, and a third has been ordered on the way. And I remember thinking, I've always joked that we had 2 plows, but we actually only have 2 plows. And like, I think the rule of thumb is something like, for every lane of thoroughfare you have running across the city, you have it, like for every street running, you need to have at least 1 lane open. So like, think of all the big name roads running through Lubbock, 19th, 34th, 50th, University, Avenue Q, and all those big roads, like 19th especially goes to the hospital. So things that intersect with 19th need to be clear.
Yeah.
And those are each like 4 to 6 lane roads, 2 to 3 lanes in either direction. And we have 2 plows. You can't conceivably keep them clear that way. It's ridiculous to me that we have so few plows. And what struck me as odd was there was a point that in the mayor's debriefing that said, we're aware that all of you are concerned about the number of plows, but you need to understand that this was an anomaly in terms of what the storm was. They're usually never this big. But then I think back to, my recital when it snowed, that one day when I first got to tech when it snowed, how every time it snows, the roads aren't clear. They just never are. And, I mean, I guess it's okay for the city to shut down for a day, but I mean, I feel like the right number of plows is somewhere in the 10 to 20 range, or 10 to 15 or something like that. Maybe one plow for each lane in any direction on a thoroughfare. So like, keep the big routes to the hospitals open. That makes sense to me. Yeah. They quoted the price of a new snowplow as $250,000.
Oh,
that seems ludicrously high. And so like when he's mentioned all this, and it's transcribed on Facebook, and the comments are just like, why don't we have more snowplows? And why don't we just get plows attachments for the police SUVs, or plow attachments for the public works dump trucks? I agree with the public works dump trucks plow attachments. That makes sense. You could just load those up with fill dirt, and then they have all the weight they need just to push snow around. I don't think you really want to put a snow plow on a Tahoe, what they drive for the police cruisers here. It's not a heavy enough vehicle. It'll just hit it and get stuck. That's just the way. Exactly. It was a lot of snow. A foot of snow on the road, and having it get crushed down and stuff. You need a large vehicle to push that. But they had like backhoes and front end loaders. I don't think they had a bulldozer, but they did have like a grade all, one of those big road graders, just taking care of snow. It's like, that's technically a snowplow. It's like, I get it. It just struck me odd that they're so ill prepared for it. And it's like, and people are getting fired up in the comments like, you don't have to declare this a disaster if you knew what you were doing. It's like, I find it hard to pick a side here, because having worked for the city, they do the best they can. If you're not in the actual situation room, you don't really know what's going on. And that's just kind of across the board. It seems like the government handles things silly, but you're not there. That's just the way it is. So I agree that this storm was an outlier. Third largest in Lubbock's history. So okay, I'll give them that. But 2 plows? Are you kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? 2 plows? It's bullshit. It's just silly how few plows we have. And so the roads were impassable for like 4 or 5 days.
Really?
And so like, I don't know how much food you keep in the house, but I mean, maybe 3 to 4 days at most. If I had, I was originally planning to come back up to Lubbock to return my other house key on like the 31st. Mm-hmm. I don't think I would have made it in or out if I had come up here. I'm glad I turned it in early.
Yeah. So you were able to turn it in?
Yeah, I did eventually just call. I kept thinking, it's like, that sounds really stupid that I'm going to do that. I better call them and just see if I can turn it in. So I left a message like, yeah, you can turn it in whenever you want. I'm like,
I told you. Stupid fuck.
Yeah, I misunderstood the lease terms, and then when I was in the park indoctrination room of the lease video, then I'm watching that video, it's like, that was the same as my last lease agreement. Shit, can I not turn that in? So I got confused. But
this is an apartment complex. That's a house. Landlord versus a corporation.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's the same TAA contract.
Oh,
that's what I mean. Like, the names are different, but the terms are very similar.
I get you. I knew weather was bad over here because, like I said, my last day at work was the 26th. My boss called me on the 27th. He was like, "Hey, were you supposed to work today?" And I was like, "No." He was like, "Okay, good. I was just calling everybody. We're not gonna open for the next day or two." And I was like, "Oh, okay. I don't go back till like the 5th."
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, some of the businesses I follow were saying that same thing. Just like, we're not opening today for safety of our workers and for you guys. It's like, yeah, it makes sense because the roads were awful, and I remember just driving back. Like 50 or 80 miles out on 84, there was still ice next to the road and like snowbanks and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh geez.
Well, we still have fucking mountains.
Yeah, little pushed up snow where people did eventually plow the roads and stuff. But I feel like a good solution would have been, I guess, if you
get a flamethrower, put it on the sides of the cars, and just fucking melt it. That's what we should. That's what we need to invest in. Fucking flamethrowers. Just burn everything.
Okay. My opinion on this, and it's not a learned opinion, is they just need to get more snowplows. They keep like, I don't know, 6 more on hand, so that when the snow finally, does start to pile up and it's bad, they can clear routes to the hospitals quickly. It seems like a no-brainer, but I mean, I wasn't here. I don't know how hard the snow was falling, but still, it was like, wow, this is way rougher than it needs to be. But yeah, city shut down for like 4 days.
I can't remember. I was in high school in El Paso. I may have told this story on this podcast before, but a while ago, the city shut down for about 4 days because it was cold. No snow. Just fucking froze. And a lot of our pipes froze. There was random power outages for minutes at a time, like 15 to 30 minutes. You had no power.
Mm-hmm.
It was hard to get water. Like, everything just fucking froze. To the point where I didn't go to school for 3 days.
Jeez.
Yeah.
So it wasn't just cold temperatures, it was like rain that froze?
Nope.
Or what?
Just cold. There was some rain, but it wasn't even like monsoon or anything. It was just fucking like rain, some small rain. But I guess it's just that fucking cold.
If it was constant enough, what could have happened is, what makes power go out in the winter is snow or ice collects on the power lines, weighs them down, and they break. So if enough, like in Lubbock, if enough snow falls, the big power lines from the power plant are in jeopardy, or just the residential lines running back and forth. If enough ice builds up on there in layers and freezes, it'll just bring the line down. And so then power companies have to go out and reattach it, break the ice off, stuff like that. Because power lines don't get like warm doing their job unless everyone just like kicks on a bunch of electricity. They don't really get that warm in terms of so it wouldn't like de-ice itself. It would just freeze up and just stuff would just start to collapse.
What do I do now?
Yeah. So it sounds like El Paso had cold enough temperatures and enough humidity that the water vapor in the air was starting to just condense to things and weigh them down. So, like, was there ice on the roads at all, or?
I don't know. I wasn't driving. I fucking stayed at home.
Yeah, not just
At home.
no, when I got back, it was, I think, Friday or Saturday that it snowed again. And it wasn't a shitload of snow, but it was enough to, Alex and I had to run to the grocery store, because Alex brought his immersion cooker, which is basically a fancy heating element with a little pump in it to move water through it, so it keeps water at a precise temperature. It sounds ridiculous, but we did make some great lemon pepper chicken and steaks.
You could also make that in the oven.
I know.
And on the grill.
Yeah.
I
know.
Bring crazy shit.
I thought it was silly too, but then we tried it and it was like, I wonder if this is gonna be any good, because neither of us are like chefs. We're food retarded, and so
I think as long as you follow the instructions.
Well, there were instructions, but they didn't have like specific amounts for the seasoning. So like
yeah.
I just like took lemon pepper and salt and just threw it onto a plate and just like slapped the chicken on both sides. Like, I hope that's not too much fucking salt. And like I just like touched a finger to the rub, and I'm like, fuck, that's salty. And I was like, oh, what have I done? And then the chicken came out, I'm like, fuck, this is really good. It was like, I cut up the chicken, ate it, I was like, well, hot damn.
Yeah, well, you have to keep in
really
mind,
good.
you ate the rub by itself. This one cooks, you get the grease a little bit, some falls off, and then you have the rest of the fucking chicken.
I don't know. I just think for the steaks were kind of the same way, where it's like the rub was super salty, but the rub was, one part of the rub was just salt and pepper, and the other part of the rub was just Tony Chachere's, that Cajun spice.
Yeah.
The Tony Chachere side was super tasty. The other rub was like too salty. So we need to just decide what ratio we want. So probably less salt to pepper.
I like to use adobo.
What is that?
It's like a seasoning, like a general purpose seasoning.
Oh, okay.
But sometimes I forget that it's really fucking salty. And I'll make like a steak or something, and I'm not paying attention to how much I'm putting, and I bite into it, and it's like I fucking got a brick of salt.
It's just like,
and decided to maybe put some meat on it.
Yeah.
And it's just the worst. So yeah, I've had a couple of some really shitty fucking steaks.
Cooking. I mean, cooking, if you just follow the directions, usually it'll turn out okay. But then when you start to stray from the directions, or you just don't care like we did, things will go awry.
Yeah.
Like, typically people tend to like my cooking, but my cooking is like Hamburger Helper, and then the pot roast I make, that tends to go okay. But it's just following the directions. There's no real room for flexibility there.
Yeah.
Like, I really don't get scratch ingredients and then like make shit. Like, I guess I could, but
I like to do that every now and then. I like to go get the chicken, wring its neck, pluck the feathers. I'm just kidding.
I like to get a hatch an egg, raise the chicken, become its friend, then kill it, then eat it. So I get the full emotional gamut of raising to eating.
That made me very sad.
It happens.
Oh,
We
shit.
butchered chickens when we had them.
Yeah, I saw my grandma.
They even had names, and now they don't.
They didn't have brains. Oh shit.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a few things that I want to talk about now.
Sure.
It just popped into my head. You can choose. We can talk about Donald Trump because he's my favorite guy in the whole wide world.
Mm-hmm.
We can talk about It's Always Sunny, or we can talk about me.
Let's get Donald Trump out of the way.
All right, what the fuck is up with him kicking everybody out of his fucking rallies?
Well, if you take him at face value and then, assume that he is as crazy as he sounds, he's getting people with dissenting opinions out of the rally, and so that for publicity's sake, it looks like everybody's on his side. I imagine at any politician's rally, the way the cameras are positioned to take the pictures make the crowds look huge. They might not be that big for every candidate. That's just how it goes. And then you remove the people or crop out the people with the signs that say shit about you. Just like, God damn it, Trump, what are you doing? Like, they hide those people. So he's making it... You can see he's good? Okay.
Nope.
He's making it appear as if that everyone in his rally is on his side. But even still, when any of these politicians, if you look at the demographic makeup of the people that are featured in like the press photo, for each candidate you're gonna get like a hodgepodge. Like for Bernie Sanders, it's like young hipster folks. For Donald Trump, it's a bunch of like fat white people, and just so on and so forth. And so you're not really picking a demographic, but I mean whoever you appeal to the most is going to show up to the rally, and then the counter to that's going to show up. So you probably just hide them. So that's what that is.
Like product placement, kind of.
Yeah. The weird ass conspiracy theory side of things would be either Donald Trump is like playing us all and he's just pretending to run for president and he's just going as crazy as possible so he can do his best to dismantle the Republican Party. Because right now, the problem they have is they've got their core set of values that they've had forever, which is like fiscally conservative, small government, what have you. And that's been perverted into crazy right-wing stuff, really religious-based, and what have you. So right now, even though the party gets weird sometimes, both parties are not that different. They're a a political industry that gets people elected. That's their job, basically. And so I feel like for the Democrats, they don't really want Bernie Sanders there. For the Republicans, they don't really want Trump there because they're bringing out the voting people they don't really want. So like right now we're in 2016, if you watch the message from where people start to now to where they end up for the actual election, their message is going to get pretty radical at first. Right now it's starting to even out, and then it's going to get as middle of the road as possible, so that they're wrangling in people early to get the nut jobs that'll vote to get them in the primaries, and then as they go on, they get more middle ground so that everybody will vote for them. So they go from really crazy to less crazy. And that's across the board.
Does that make me crazy?
Maybe. And so if you look at all the other candidates, the big name candidates like Jeb and some of the, I can't remember the other ones. I'm out of touch. But basically, what they said at the beginning and what they're saying now is starting to kind of go towards the middle now, and that's everybody. Trump's not that way for some reason. He's hammering, doubling down on the crazy, and his numbers keep improving. This presents a problem. This makes the Republican Party a group of whack jobs, and really they're not. Like I imagine the majority of them are fairly normal, intelligent people. But what makes the news is the crazy folk. Mm-hmm. And again, with the Democrats, the bleeding heart Tumblr folk that complain about gender norms are not fully representative of the Democratic Party. They're mostly just normal business folk. Whatever. So, by all intents and purposes, he shouldn't be as popular as he is. We like to think that most people in the country are pretty moderate and pretty intelligent, so they wouldn't vote for him. But if you watch politics, and especially politics dealing with the Republican Party, what their message has become, it's gotten more and more radical. It's gotten weirder and weirder. And now they've got a problem. Their voter base is too crazy. And that doesn't mean the majority. The people who vote, the old fogies who are stuck watching Fox News all day and are just getting more and more afraid, so they think they can change things by voting, and they don't really read into the policies that are being enacted and realize how it's hurting them in the end. So they're getting too radical. Radical is maybe not the right word, but just getting too weird. And so Trump's getting more and more popular, and he's staying popular, even though he's saying ridiculous things. And then, normally by now he should be evening out, but he's not. And so what's going to happen, what's liable to happen is you get a big divide in the Republican Party, or in any conservative party really, where if they boot out Trump because, like, we can't elect you, he'll just run as independent, and he could win that way. If he's basically walking out there like, I am untethered and my rage knows no bounds. And so then he can really say whatever he wants and really get a shitload of crazy people on his side. So then the question is, what if that happens on the Democratic side? Where if you look at Bernie Sanders' numbers, they keep growing in comparison to Hillary's, and Hillary's not looking as electable. Like, it seemed like earlier in the race, it was like, well, it's cute that Bernie Sanders is there, but he's not going to win. He's just this old fogey from Vermont. Why would we ever vote for him? Mm-hmm. But he keeps getting endorsed by people, and he keeps having really good political responses to whenever Hillary's campaign does attacks. Most recently, she, I think, tried to claim that he's going to dismantle healthcare, mm-hmm. and he responded with a picture of him and her that she wrote and signed, saying, like, I'm really happy with what you're doing with healthcare, from 1993. So it's like, clearly you're just digging at me. Here's a picture of you agreeing with me with what my plan is from 1993, and you signed it. So instead of coming up and, like, throwing mud, he just, like, presented a fact, like, here's what you actually said. And in that response,
got him.
And because of that, people are just donating to him. So he gained, like, an extra $1 million just from that move.
Wow.
And so he's an outlier. He's not using the traditional PAC and super PAC systems to get money. It's all donations from just random people. I think the average donation's like $40, $20, something like that. But he's making plenty of money. He doesn't actually have a finance team. He just has a campaign team, controlling his message and what have you.
Yeah.
But I mean, for whatever reason, the folks that are involved on social media are taking it upon themselves to really hone in what his message is, explain it clearly, and get people on his side. Meanwhile, Hillary's using traditional tactics that everyone is fed up with. Like, I think collectively, most people are like, we really don't want to. It's like it's becoming how obvious the political game is, and no one really wants to participate that way anymore. And so it's starting to look a little bit like she's losing popularity, where it's looking like clearly she's the candidate that is most supported. She's the candidate the Democratic Party wants, but then Bernie is the
people's champ
candidate that people want. And so the question then is, when we get to the primaries, if they throw off Trump and they throw out Bernie, then it becomes painfully obvious that both parties aren't listening. They've got their own choice in mind, and they're going to make it. Mm-hmm. So then you have the possibility of both Trump and Sanders running independent. That becomes interesting then. Then you have effectively a three-party system at that point, where you've got the Democrats with like a Hillary, the Republicans with not a Ted Cruz. He's born in Canada. He actually can't run for president, so oops. I don't remember. Probably Jeb is going to end up being their front runner. So it's going to be a Jeb and Clinton. It's going to be a Bush and Clinton race again, if Bernie and
Trump.
Yeah, sorry, I forgot. So Bernie and Don are out. Do they both run independent? And then do you have a debate between those two? Do you have a debate between the independents and the other parties? Do they all just go up on stage at once? What the hell happens at that point? It makes things interesting. So funny things, I think on both sides, but funny things are happening with the chair people of these parties. So like for the DNC, the woman that runs it was used to be a part of the Hillary campaign back in 2008, and a lot of the people on that board were part of the Hillary campaign. So it's like, this seems fishy. And so it's like, clearly they really want Hillary to win, but it's getting harder and harder to defend her. Not that she's a bad person, but the email scandal, the whole like attack on Bernie for the healthcare thing, even though that's clearly not what she thought back in 1993. And so you've got her with a record of, I mean, the email thing is basically you breached
Yeah,
the contract settings. Like, this is confidential information you cannot share. It's like, I'll just keep it on my own server. There's no guarantee of security at that point. So, you know, confidential files could have been leaked. It's a breach of confidentiality. Meanwhile, Bertie's been like the same angry old grandfather for like 40 years, where it's like on the issues that he's talking about now, if you go back to when these were kind of voted on back in time, his message is still the same. And so that's appealing to people. It's like, oh, he's kind of been
consistent,
extremely consistent for 4 decades. It's like Hillary's like, well, I didn't vote for the Iraq War. It's like, actually you did when we look back at your voting record. And then you look back at Bernie's and he's like, yeah, I didn't. And it's on video of him going like, I don't support this. This isn't a good idea. And so it's like over and over again. I don't know what they would have to do to make her more appealing. It's all they've really got is that she's a woman, and that's not good enough. I mean, that sounds wrong.
That sounded really bad, Bill.
How can I make that not sound extremely sexist? I'm sure there are capable female politicians out there. I don't think Hillary's the right choice. I think she's just proven that she's really, her only interests are whoever she's working for. Like, her top donators are banks and shit. And so, you know, the suspicion is, it's like, well, clearly she's just doing all this stuff for the banks. I mean, it's hearsay. I don't have any proof of that, but that's the general assumption. And when I say general assumption, that's just the group of people I interact with on the internet. That's hearsay in a bubble. That's probably not really representative of the nation as a whole. What was your next topic? Because, does that even answer your question? That went off on a tangent.
It's fine. I was just making...
You're just like, why did he keep kicking people out of his rally? Because he's a politician and they're very controlling about their message. So if there's people at the rally saying, you know, dump Trump and what have you, he's going to remove them, as any politician would. Let's see, what was your other topics?
What were they? Trump.
One was about you and one was about... Shit. It's going to be painful for people to listen to because they can just go back and listen to it.
Yeah,
technically we could, but then I have to find it, and pause it, and there's a risk of breaking it, so I don't want to do that.
I said Trump.
It's Always Sunny, that's what you said.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, thank God.
I am up to here. So, I just started the newest season. Well,
10.
I guess the newest one on Netflix.
The newest one on Netflix is season 10. Season 11 premiered, like, last week.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to be super good. Like, there's a Charlie McDennis 2 in it.
Really?
And I really want to see the next season, but it might be...
it's on Hulu already.
I don't know.
Huh. Could we have the sound, or the tech guys check to see if it's on Hulu? Thanks. So, I just started the new season on Netflix, and, holy shit is it good.
Yeah.
It is fucking hilarious. I like the Psycho Pete one, and if you haven't, watched them, you should skip forward until we're no longer talking about this. But, hey, Modern Family is on, the new episodes of Modern Family are on Hulu. So...
Jesus Christ.
The Psycho Pete one is hilarious. I love Dennis's little outburst when they're in the fucking, doctor or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And he, fucking yells at
He
Dee.
just looks over to Dee. It's like, you didn't even consider the smell, you bitch.
Yeah.
And it's just like, she looks genuinely afraid for her life after that little outburst.
Yeah.
Because they're trying to get Pete's drugs, right?
Yeah.
And really the drugs are for Dennis. Because, I think he ended up convincing himself that he was acting that way to get them or something like that. And clearly the doctor they're seeing is like, oh my god, you need help. And so...
But I think my most favorite part... Oh, the tech guy, by the way, says we do have Season 11 on Hulu. Season 11, Episode 1 is on there.
Thanks, tech guy.
Yeah, Charlie McDennis is on there. Good job, man.
Is it the full episode?
Yep, full episode, 21 minutes.
Shit, I'm gonna have to watch that.
But I could not stop laughing when he looks at her and just fucking says that he's gonna chop her up into fucking little pieces.
Little pieces. I'm gonna put you in a box, a glass box. It's
Yeah.
just like,
And I lost my shit. I don't know why I thought it was so funny, but I did. And I was in Odessa with my girlfriend's family and whatnot, and her brother's girlfriend or fiance or whatnot was there as well, right? And her and I always mess around with each other, like pick on each other and stuff.
mm-hmm.
And she said something to me, and I looked at her, and I said that to her, just dead in her eyes, and she was like, "Oh God, that was very descriptive." She was like, "That was too descriptive for me," and I just could not like stop laughing. I loved it. It's just so fucking outrageous.
Here's what I like about the show. The thing about It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, it's drawn a lot of parallels to the show Seinfeld, to the show Curb Your Enthusiasm. For it's situational comedy, but the characters are not good people. They are very bad people.
To quote the season, I like to throw a balloon of champagne on homeless guys, pop it on his head, and say, "What's the other side taste like?" or something like that.
So, whatever that.
Yeah, whatever.
That line
You
was.
get the
Basically,
gist.
normal sitcoms, they have a pilot, and the first season's pretty good, and then like everybody negotiates to get more money, so the characters start to look better. Like they might even hire in a prettier actress or actor, and the characters start to look better, they act better, and they become like superhuman at some point. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia is not that way. The pilot, they're awful people in the pilot, and it just goes downhill from there. With Dennis, he's so insane, he's so psychopathic that there's glimpses of it in the earlier seasons, and if you've watched the later ones, you go back, it's even funnier because it's like, oh, you see it in his eyes and just in his acting and stuff, and he's losing his goddamn mind over things, especially the star rating episode.
Oh my
where
God!
Someone rates him like a 1 star, and he can't separate the conversation from that fact. He'll keep going out on dates with people to get ratings, and it just gets him lower. He just doesn't see that. And so, let's see. Frank starts as like an asshole businessman, and then he moves in with Charlie and just gets more and more disheveled and weird and just crazy.
My favorite Frank episode has to be the flu one, the Boys to Men one, where he fucking shaves his body entirely.
I just want to be pure.
That has to be one of my favorite Frank episodes.
So, let's see. So Frank just becomes, crazier and more disheveled. Dee kind of starts as like the straight man character, where she's like, "Guys, come on, what are we doing?" And then she gets more narcissistic and more crazy and more manipulative.
She gets so shit on,
but also manipulated and shit on by the rest of the group. Was it in those recent seasons where she and Charlie kind of start to hang out a little?
I just saw that episode.
And how awkward that is.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, this isn't the normal group dynamic at all.
Yeah.
And then Charlie starts sorta sane, then he gets really weird, and like you see how detached he is from reality and how uneducated and how he can't read and stuff. But then you watch the episode of Charlie work, and you start to get the impression that Charlie's holding this whole thing together.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, what the hell? It's like he can't... It's like crazy, but the way he made the bar get that health inspection, how everything was carefully coordinated.
Yeah.
And he's like, guys, I do this every year, and they just never notice. It's like the way the gang just collectively forgets about things. How they forget how Cricket was set on fire in the apartment fire.
Or the waiter that fucking had hot spaghetti on his face.
Yeah, it's just like, if it wasn't, relevant to them, they don't really give a shit.
Yeah.
And they'll say that.
This is a great show. If you have not seen it yet, it's highly recommended. I'm
So,
pretty
like,
sure from both of us.
Mac's thing is how he's so in denial about every aspect of his life, and how that becomes more and more clear, where it's just like a burden when he's trying to act cool, and he's so not. Like, he tries to do his kung fu, he tries to somehow
Project Badass.
He tries to prove he's not gay, and like his brother comes in from town, or Country Mac.
Country Mac.
I don't know is that even his brother?
I think it was his cousin or something.
Oh, it had to be a cousin or something. Where it's like his cousin is so much cooler because he's honest.
And
my,
gay.
and it's
yeah.
like, loud and proud, brother. Loud and proud.
No.
He's like, see,
Dudes.
What the dudes. It's like, seeing how nice it is, how it's out in the open? He's like, why can't... He's like, God damn it.
I like in this newer episode when he comes into the fucking apartment, he's like, guys, I'm not going to let you dictate who I am anymore. I'm finally going to be happy.
And then they're like, oh, good. And they're starting to kind of cheer him on. And what does he end up actually saying?
He's like, I'm going to be with Dusty. And then Dusty's like a fucking
some kind of
chick, and she's real hot.
Oh, Angel. She's the one that's on PCP.
Angel. Yeah. It's just
yeah, they keep pretending to have sex. When they open the office, they're both like reading a magazine, just making noises across the room. It's hilarious.
It was. I have not finished this season, but it is great up to now. It's actually what kind of delayed our recording the podcast because I was watching this season.
Of course.
Yeah. But it was great. I fucking love this show.
It's a great show. It's just the funny, and I also like how the side characters are all well done and well fleshed out.
Yeah.
Like sometimes they'll get their own like story arc. Like the waitress is her own person, but like in the episode where Charlie's the janitor at school, like the insane clown posse kid.
Oh, okay.
Just like how that's like a great character and how well it's played by the actors there. And like, Rickety Cricket gets his own story and he gets his own.
I love how he was the fucking clean-cut guy.
He was a priest.
Just shit on entirely.
Just
by
by
his
that
life just fucking
falls apart.
Gosh.
It's insane.
It's a great show. I mean, it's not for everybody, but there
are some adult themes and language. God damn it. It's like, you fat ass. What episode is that from? I watched that recently. It's just D just like losing it on one character. Was it Mac? It had to be the season where Mac's fat, right? Oh yeah, let's not forget that Rob McElhenney gained like 40 pounds for one season, then lost it between the next one. Just like, why? Just to have a fat Mac that season. So when he's eating, he's like, just like eating, he wheezes and everything.
Breathe and eat. Oh man, we got to do a show or a podcast just strictly on this. I think we can talk about.
I think that's what we just.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm a little. Went to bed real late last night.
I didn't go to sleep last night. I slept in like 30-minute increments every 4 hours, maybe. It didn't work for me. I did not sleep.
That's weird.
I'm very excited about this mountain bike, which brings me to my next topic.
Okay.
Speaking about Project Badass as well, I'm gonna get a GoPro. I've wanted one for years now, and it'll help with jump covers. To have a pretty decent camera and not have to fucking go to school and borrow a piece of shit because people don't know what the fuck they're talking about. So I'm gonna get a GoPro.
You mentioned the H series, and she's like looking at a wall, and it's all the cameras you want, but she doesn't see the letter H somewhere, or just like the word series. She's like, okay, just doesn't, and picks you out a crappy little handy cam.
Handy has an H in it.
That'll work.
The sheer disappointment, but I didn't want to send her back.
Do you have literally anything else? The same disappointment I had with that Prius.
Yep, the Handycam is my Prius. So I'm gonna do that. Another reason why I want to do is because I'm gonna get my mountain bike, and it'd be kind of cool to, not here in Lubbock necessarily, but in El Paso, those trails.
That would be so exciting. Mountain biking in Lubbock. It's just flat.
Well, there's a trail. There's like bike trails here.
Or you go to like Paladoro or something like that.
Yeah, or Spring Lake.
Buffalo Spring Lake.
Yeah. There's like a dirt bike trail, but I'm sure I can ride my bike there.
Yeah.
And that. But another thing I was thinking we could possibly do with this podcast is we go to school together. We spend a shit ton of time together. We talked about doing podcasts on the go, but why not have like short 3-4 minute videos that we post on our YouTube page of random shit that
we need to do something with the damn YouTube page.
Yeah, because I'm not going to upload these fucking audios to YouTube.
Oh my god, that means I have to do it. Oh shit.
I can do it, but what are we going to put as an image for fucking an hour long?
There's two ways to go about this. Just throw up our profile icon. No. That image is too low resolution. I will not allow it.
Oh, that's right. You made the always wrong.
It's the shittiest logo ever, but it's the logo. It's what we got. Basically, just put that up, in your video editor as a scene for the whole podcast and just let it go that way for audio's sake. Or, and this is the hard version of it, whatever we're talking about,
Post shit of
you throw up an image of something relevant, so if it's a video, you play part of the video in there. That would be a shitload of editing, though.
Yeah.
So what I can do is I can definitely do the picture for a long time. I can do that. That's easy. It's shitty, but it's easy.
Let's do that, and then we'll maybe start doing the other one. And also with this GoPro, it's now even more possible to have video podcasts.
I need to... maybe that's a stupid thing I'll do with my refund money. I'll get actual video editing software.
Why? You can get Adobe Premiere.
For...
It's like $20 a month if you're a student.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, or you can just buy the full year subscription. It's like super cheap.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Just I have to do it. I'm already paying $15 a month to SoundCloud, so that we can have all of our episodes up at the same time.
I remember this.
God damn.
God damn.
So we played Rock Band yesterday.
Oh, we did. We should go play again. I really had a good time. That was fun. I wish we would have
Fucking destroyed my vocal cords.
I wish we had drums.
Yeah, we really are missing. Let's see. Alex has the whole band kit. I should have had him bring it up.
You see, if I wasn't spending so much money on my bikes and my GoPro,
For some reason, I thought you were gonna say your body. I'm not sure why. I don't spend so much
she
money
just
on my
likes me
body.
for my body. If I wasn't spending so much money on that already, I'd totally get a fucking Xbox One and get Rock Band so we can play together and stuff. But it's like
It's not fully justifiable.
no, and you know my mountain bike is kind of it's like a hobby, but it's also a way I used to get to school every day.
Do you actually bike to school from here?
I did for a long time.
In the cold?
Yeah,
In the cold?
yeah, it was like
Gross.
almost a year ago when I didn't have my car. Remember?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I would bike to school every day. So that's kind of why I have this. The GoPro I was able to justify a little bit more.
Now we should get a bike so we can be a Peloton and go to school together.
Look at that.
No.
You
that's
wouldn't
a
make it.
joke. No, I would die. How many miles is it from here? It's like 10?
Yeah, I think it's about 9. The first day I made it to school in like 35 minutes, maybe
Oh.
maybe a little bit less, and then it was to the point where the average was about 20 minutes. My
Jesus.
best day was 18 minutes, and my average
I
miles per
wouldn't
hour-
make it to school.
My average
I'd
miles
keel
per
over.
hour was like 21 miles an hour.
What's your route when you're on a bike?
When I go from here to school, pretty much the gateway to the highway, the whole way.
Oh, just the feeder road?
Yeah.
Is that legal?
Yeah, there's a sidewalk the whole way.
Oh, there is?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I would do that. There's this one part where it's like a grass patch for a long time, which sucked because I had a road bike
Oh.
at the
so
time,
if it was like wet at all, you just sink in.
and I had fucking half a centimeter size wheel. Or with the
Just
wheel.
a skinny little road wheel.
Yeah. Now with my fucking 29-inch mountain wheel bikes, fucking
You could run over everything.
yeah.
I used to be as big as a mountain. Now I'm tiny like a little mouse. That's Dennis manipulating Mac. I don't remember which episode it is, but he keeps feeding him like diet pills.
Yeah.
He's getting like severely underweight. God damn that show. God damn.
It was the dishes episode.
Oh, the gang gets analyzed.
Yeah.
Of course. God, I need to watch that one again. That one's. God damn.
I just love D's. God damn it!
He just gets so mad and just like starts breaking plates next to the.
The psychologist, whatever, fucking starts scratching her head over.
Oh, to rain dandruff.
Yeah.
Oh, God. What the hell?
Oh, these fucking writers for this show, man.
I know.
And aren't D and Mac married?
Yeah, Rob McElhenney and Caitlin Olsen are married.
And the waitress and
Charlie Day and Mary Elizabeth Ellis.
Yeah,
That's her name. Is they're married as well.
yeah, it's funny.
Yeah, and they just play the character. It's fucking amazing.
Yeah, it.
Shoot, who's what is Dennis's actor's name? It's something weird. It's like Glenn. It's Glenn Howerton. So Glenn Howerton and the woman who played that pharmacist he was trying to sleep with. That's his wife. I don't remember her
Really?
name though. Yeah.
Wow, she's good looking.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
when you've got the body of a golden god.
fucking Rex. Did you really step in a pile of shit, Rex?
He's like,
I want to win.
it's like, I want to win.
Man. So what do you think about the GoPro? What do you think about these ideas?
I think it's a good idea. I think the GoPro and the bike are plenty justifiable. The GoPro, hell, just to, for your drum cover videos, and then, just to have on the bike, use it like a dash cam if you need to. Just like if you get hit by some asshole.
I did get hit in last semester. Or the semester before.
And then you've got, proof, or you can like make a sweet fucking bike montage of your ride to school.
You're gonna record me, Bill? You're gonna lay on the floor as I ramp over you?
Exactly. Oh god, that would just be I'm just like, okay, go. Got it!
I dropped the GoPro on my face!
GoPro jammed in my face. It's like,
I actually might get two. One of them, for sure, it's gonna be the Hero 4 Silver.
Mm-hmm.
And then my secondary camera that I want to get is going to be like the super basic GoPro that's like $100 and something bucks. That way we have two angles for drum covers.
Keep talking, you need to adjust your chandelier.
It's going to stay like that.
Is it?
Yeah, it's the weight. You see how there's 3 things on that one, and you're going to try to spread them out?
No, that's right. It's supposed to be 5.
Oh.
No, 6. I'm glad I could do some good on this day.
Nope, I'm gonna fucking just switch them all.
You're just gonna squish them all together
Yep.
into one side.
Sure am. But yeah, I thought it'd be cool, and then that way we can do like short video things, and like the reason I got this idea is because I've been watching this UK mountain bike video channel that I like to watch, and they come out with shit every day, but it's 2 to 3 minutes, sometimes 5 minutes of just short content that is helpful.
The only idea that I've had kind of about that is, I figure I'm going to be doing percussion maintenance a lot. I wonder if anyone's done a comprehensive YouTube series on how to do that shit, or just like having like a blog of easy to find information, like all the stuff I don't know about an instrument right now. It's like, what are the average? Like, is it a standardized bolt size throughout the thing? If it is, what is it? And so just like having that information available. So, still need to buy calipers.
You could go to Home Depot.
So if I can like make a video, it's like, here's how you restring a marimba 1, blah 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 blah, and just have like a video series on marimba maintenance, timpani maintenance, and just it's a thing to do. Be a hell of a way to get endorsed too, but whatever.
Yeah.
So that would be a thing to do. I don't think we'd put that on the Always Wrong channel. That'd be like on my personal channel. A sub channel of some kind, because that's not very funny. Well, I could make.
You could be wrong too. So.
I could. That's actually a great idea. That saves me from the comment section. Or I can make them funny. No one's ever done a percussion book that's actually entertaining to read. Because usually it's like a shitty pun, and it's just like, oh my god, just kill me.
You'll get a real kick out of it.
Ding ding. And it's like, oh god. That's the worst.
I don't know. I'd be down to do that.
It's a thought. I gotta see how busy I am, because I don't know how long I'm just gonna be in the crawl space for shit like that, and then I've got a lot of work to do to make the workbench clean, because right now it's like, looks like someone was in the middle of the project and that person graduated like 3 years ago. So
you want to know what it was?
What?
That was me.
What was your...
The congas?
That's still in there.
Yeah, I know. That was me like 2 years ago.
Yeah, but it's not conga parts on the workbench. Well, there's some over, like, on the big workbench. The smaller one with the vise and all the bins and stuff.
Uh-huh.
I don't know what that is. So if there's a project in it, I'm going to just cancel it and put it away. And then I've got to, like, sort all the shit we have. And, God, that's going to take me, just weekend after weekend of pecking away at that stuff. Because... I feel like there's always a way to do something better.
Yeah.
And in that crawl space especially, where during the semester people just dump shit off. And it's not a whole like, well, why are they putting this all on me? It's what I'm here for. Mm-hmm. But it never really gets put away properly. So things are like not really grouped with other things. So it'd be nice to get that organized and labeled properly, but we'll see.
I think it'd be nice to mention that we are in my house today recording this podcast.
It's super important that we know that.
Yeah.
I don't know why I just look back to confirm if we have the same refrigerator. We do, by the way.
Just wanted to point out that this is our 3rd location for this podcast. We are moving on up.
Technically 4th. I recorded one at Call Station.
Oh, yeah. Fucking
I should have taken the podcast equipment. I could have gotten Alex's stories when he traveled to London.
Or you could have fucking done it when he was here.
Also true. Yeah, could have done it then.
Jesus. I will have my GoPro this weekend. I say more than likely this weekend, depending on whether work has it in stock or not. I say we commit to making a video podcast next.
Okay.
This is going to go up on Monday, so we have at roughly another week and a half to do it. I say we commit to doing a video podcast. If we have any listeners on Facebook, YouTube,
For the love of God, share it with people.
that, and if you have any suggestions on what you'd like to see on video, whether it be a food challenge or something, let us know.
Food challenge.
Fuck
Oh,
yeah,
no.
I'd fucking be down to go to Taco Bell and order 10 tacos and see who can eat it the fastest. Like,
God.
I'd be down to whatever.
It's not worth the poops. Well, it might be. Depends on into poops you are.
Also, if there's any sock sponsorships out there and you would like to send us some nice socks, we would greatly appreciate it. I love dress
Stride
socks.
line. Can't remember any other brands.
Just somebody. We're reaching out to you. Even socks at a discount would be nice.
Like this week, we're begging for ding socks. We're begging for socks. Yeah, and God damn it, people, we have an email address.
Yeah.
Email us shit.
And I mean,
Please.
we're saying damn it, people, but there's probably like nobody listening to us.
Call in,
considering-
email us something.
Oh, we didn't talk about Colin this weekend.
Oh yeah, well,
Yeah.
you have any news about Colin? I haven't seen Colin in
Shit,
a
I
while.
haven't seen Colin in a long time. But, however, Colin did make some Phonic Band again.
That's good.
I also made some Phonic Band section leader again. And we will be going to Colorado. I'm excited for that trip. It sucks that you did not make some Phonic Band.
Well, here's the thing.
We started out friends. It was cool, but it was all pretend.
Anyway. Oh my God, you're the worst.
You did it to me at the beginning of the podcast.
Fair enough. I'm the worst. What do you want from me? So I'm in the ensemble above that, but the way it works here at Tech is it's not the way it works, it's just the way it has conspired to be. I prefer Symphonic Band to SWE. I've said that publicly plenty of times. I don't care who knows it. Symphonic Band's a better band, by far. I saw. It's a mic kit. But yeah, I'm in SWE again, and then I'm also coaching University Band. I'll probably be playing in University Band more than SWE because I'm just the 8th man on SWE.
Oh, okay.
I'm the extra guy. Now, I don't know if she's going to pick a shitload of pieces that need 8 people, which is entirely possible.
Yeah, it fucking is. You're going to need another fucking typewriter.
Was there really a typewriter?
Yeah.
What? When?
Do you not? You were there.
No?
Yeah. It was
When-
when you were in Symphonic Band.
They needed a typewriter?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. That ensemble. Oh my God.
I know we've made this promise before to you guys, but we will, it's a promise, keep up with our social media. I just downloaded all those social... But I finally downloaded... You see, the problem was, I don't always get on my laptop every day. I don't do it, because I'm not good at social media. But I finally downloaded the things on my phone. I can finally log into our shit and post things, and especially if we're going to do those short video excerpts, I can record directly to YouTube from my phone, and I don't have to upload it another day. It can just fucking go up there. It can be live. You can fucking see all our friends and hang out on our wonderful Texas Tech University campus. If I'm biking to school and something, I'm
going to
recording.
use my personal email.
You can... What?
And I'm going to use my personal email and send the podcast email an email saying that Jacob will not complete this challenge. He will not do the things he says he's about to do.
Really?
It will not happen.
Okay, so...
Just saying.
Keeping up with the Kardashians.
What?
Keeping up with our social media. At least Facebook. I'm fucking terrible at Twitter, and I don't think we have an Instagram.
We don't.
We should make an Instagram, because we can sync Facebook and Instagram together. And we can take pictures. They don't know what we look like yet, so...
Right, the fucking video podcast last time didn't fucking take.
So
Damn it.
Maybe we can do like a face reveal or something, and start our Instagram. But if we're gonna make this thing kick off, because we've recorded way more than we thought we were.
Yeah, true.
But we're not doing anything to push this out. So we
Gotta
will
push this turd out. Force it, blow an O-ring. I don't give a shit.
But we should probably keep up with this social media. Try to build a bigger following. We're on iTunes as well, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we are on iTunes.
I should check. I mean, we were. I haven't checked in a few weeks. We're probably still on there unless we've been like reported and taken down. Could happen.
We might be on iTunes. Have you ever looked at the It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia picture of them with the bananas?
Yes.
I never realized that they are, like, I guess, open to close or close to open.
Okay.
That was
a podcast visual for everybody. Hope you can pull up that picture fast enough and understand before the moment's gone.
We'll wait.
Yeah. How about I'm declaring it now. I'll put the episodes up on YouTube.
Okay.
I'll do it.
Okay.
It may not be. It's probably not going to be heavily edited. It's just going to be the audio and a picture.
That's fine.
If someone wants to make better versions, fucking fine by me.
I will give you a
monetize.
high five. No money. And possibly some recognition on the podcast if I remember.
I think that's as good a place as any to stop.
My hedgehog is doing some crazy shit.
And we're going to end.
Bye.
Bye.